Caps faithful rocking the red tonight. So many grade 8 sweaters in the stands. 8 goals to pass number 99. Van Riemsdyk towards the goal block. Follow-up chance. Score! Alex Ovechkin.
This is an awesome scene.
Airship went down. It's 888 for the grade 8. It's 1-0 Washington.
Another raucous celebration triggered by the Capital captain.
That's right. The great chase continues, and we are pleased to be with you here on NHL Tonight First Shift with the great Kevin Weeks of Adnan and Virk, and it's good to have you with us. The multi-talented Kevin Weeks, I should say, because not only is he excelling at various capacities here as a broadcaster, but also showing his range in the world of entertainment. We're getting to Ovechkin in just a second here, because right now he's the best actor, right, in the awards race.
No doubt.
We just had the Oscars.
No doubt.
You were there at the Golden Globes. I still need some stories from you. I've not worked with you since.
Yeah.
The Golden Globes, walking the red carpet. I got my buddy Jesse Palmer at the Oscars.
Nice.
And you at the Globes. What was it like?
Love Jesse Palmer, too. By the way,
Yeah.
Adnan's been covering film and entertainment for a very long time.
Appreciate that.
So don't let him fool you. But he comes by it honestly, so thank you very much. Golden Globes were amazing. You know what was really cool?
Yeah.
Adam Sandler.
Nice.
He was so awesome.
Happy Gilmore, too.
And I was just rankling to get people, because this is my first time covering entertainment.
Yeah.
So I had no shame to my game. I was, we're off the carpet, right, on the red carpet.
They're not coming to you. You got to get them. You're 100%
not even.
right.
So I was, Adam!
Be aggressive.
Adam! You're the Boston Bruins. Adam! One question for us on Sportico. Just one question. Adam! Honest, I was the biggest autograph seeker outside Maple Leaf Gardens. That's how I felt like I was 8 years old. And he came over.
Yeah.
And he was so cool and so nice. He was awesome. He was, when they play ball, you know what I mean?
100%.
He just played ball. He loved talking about the Bruins. He's proud. He was awesome.
People ask you about interviewing celebrities and such.
Yeah.
90% is them.
Yes.
If they're in a good mood and they're willing to play ball, it doesn't matter what you and I are doing.
100%.
But if they're not having it,
true.
they're not having it.
That is so true.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Love it. He's the big Bruins guy. Well, we're going to get him on to talk about David Pastrnak sometime.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, first things first, let's talk about Alexander Ovechkin and this great chase again. He's the best actor right now going in the world of hockey. 888 goal weeks. It wasn't like he ripped it. It could have been a slight whiff, but able to get the goal there. Past Sam Erison continues to march towards immortality here against the Flyers last night.
Watch him stay in mutation here. You're with him? You're with him? Oh, no, you're not. In the net. Turn on the red light like Roxanne. And here's the thing about it with Ovi is no matter, anytime he's shooting a puck, he is one of the players and one of the few players in league history that I can say, having played against him, you can never read where he's shooting it and what the puck's going to do. Ever. So think of the greatest pitchers of all time that always have the hitters off balance and they don't know what's coming, or sometimes they know what's coming and they can't catch up to it. That's what it's like for Ovi. He doesn't shoot the same way twice.
Yeah.
Consecutively, so goalies are always guessing. As you saw there, he didn't even get all, but he got enough on that 888 goal.
I like that comp, like a Mariano Rivera cutter. It's where he throws.
Yes.
You better hit it or not. But
That's
otherwise,
right.
it's one thing to actually do it.
That's right.
It's amazing because even when he has a bit of a lull, like a couple of games not scoring, you go, maybe next season, to look at in perspective what he's done now, most 35 goal seasons ever. By the way, this is amazing, some of these guys on this list. Mike Gartner's on this list. Marcel Dion is on this list. Gretzky's there at 13. That consistency, Weeksy, this is insane. 15 times he's done this. Remarkable longevity.
Remarkable longevity and something we never thought possible, and I played against everybody on that board except for the great Marcel Dion. I played with his brother, Gilbert Dion.
Nice.
And when you think of just, put it in perspective of being a young kid growing up, and you're watching a lot of these players, right? And it's Mario, then it's Paul Coffey, it's Gretz, it's Brian Leach, it's Messier, and all these, immortals, Yogs. Then to get the chance to play with and against some of them.
Yeah.
Then Alexander Ovechkin comes in, and I go back to Ole Kolzig, who was a great goaltender with the Washington Capitals. Ole the goalie, who said in Ovi's rookie training camp, "This is the best player I've ever played with."
Wow. Rookie training camp,
Camp. He's 18. Camp, he said that. That's Michael Jordan-esque.
Yeah.
It's Kobe Bryant, bless his soul. It's Tiger Woods. These people that seem immortal in terms of just how great they are and all that they're able to transcend. That's what Ovi's done. It's so amazing to watch and to witness firsthand. And what he's doing, we thought, is kind of the likes of video game.
Yeah.
It's video game for that level of consistency and that level of greatness.
Love the shout out to Ole the goalie. Yeah. Let's bring in Bree Adams right now, our producer. JD Lindbergh out. Bree is in. Bree, your moment here to shine. Give us some more perspective here on Ovechkin and Gretzky.
Absolutely. So we all know about the Great Chase. We're all talking about it. 7 goals away from surpassing him. But there's another record that we are 1 goal away from him passing. Let's hit that full screen. So yesterday, with that first goal, he became the record holder for most goals in a single calendar month. And it was a first period goal. He's 1 goal away of tying Gretzky in that. Thoughts?
I mean, that's pretty remarkable, again, because once he was hurt weeks, you're like, okay, hey, it's going to happen eventually, but probably next season. For him to come back after an injury to still be that prolific, that, to me, is what's most surprising.
That's really surprising, but I got to tell you, man, they're not built, they don't build them like this.
Yeah.
Like, this is a different laboratory, of genetics and everything else that had to come together with people like Wayne Gretzky and Alexander Ovechkin and some of those people. I could just tell you, man, I talked to Ovi earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And we had a little bit of a kind of back and forth. The Caps had a team event. We were on the phone. I was talking to a couple of his other players. He came and grabbed the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, Ovi, you only got 1 on me. He goes, yeah, but I only played you once. So, but these, like, the players that are this great, they remember everything, their aptitude. We marvel at their skills and their talents and their unique ability. What we don't give enough credit to is the aptitude, their psychology, their hunger and focus to be great every time, because they know every time they're on the ice, they expect it from themselves, and the entire world is watching, and they expect it from them, and they deliver. That's very powerful stuff.
Yeah, I interviewed Dylan Strome with Jason DeBurs on our podcast, NHL Unscripted, and I said, James Duthie, our buddy on
JD.
Duthie said, he goes, for years, Ovechkin would put Dr. Pepper in his water bottle.
Yes.
I said, Dylan, can you confirm that? He goes, I don't know the Dr. Pepper, but he loves Coke. He goes, I can guarantee he is chugging Coke at all times. So I'm like, if ever you need a promo for Coke or Coke Zero, there's Ovechkin in the Great Chase, just chugging down some Coke.
Amazing.
Let's look again at the upcoming milestones right now for Ovechkin. The games are coming up. People are wondering, well, when is Wayne Gretzky going to start following him around? Well, it's interesting because his career stats against upcoming opponents, this is against the Panthers Saturday, Winnipeg Tuesday, Minnesota Thursday, and Buffalo on March 30th. We see at this point 7 goals away. I got to think Wayne's going to start traveling around once he gets to 5, because conceivably Ovechkin could have a game in which he puts up 4 or 5. So this will be interesting now for the Great One, too, because he'll be following Ovechkin around as he does indeed try to chase down his record. Yeah,
I said last night on ESPN, I think he's going to do it within 13 days, and that was ahead of last night's game.
Yeah.
In the 6 p.m. show. So Wayne Gretzky, I think it's going to be sooner rather than later that he'll be traveling with him, to your point, which would make a lot of sense. And I can tell you this, having spoken to Wayne Gretzky as well, there's nobody happier about what Alex Ovechkin is about to accomplish than Wayne Gretzky.
So cool.
That is class and humility personified.
Yeah.
Nobody happier, nobody more supportive. Right. And for years, long before this was the thing, Gretz talked to him, go to dinner with him, talk to him on the phone, text him. That's the behind the scenes stuff that people don't give enough credence to. And quite frankly, a lot of people couldn't know that.
Yeah, you would think a lot of us would be, as athletes, you're primed to care about yourself. You can be self-absorbed, selfish. You're right. Gretzky comes by the humility, honestly.
Big time.
He feels like records are made to be broken. This guy's a great emblem for the game. He will legitimately be thrilled for this guy.
Yes.
Which shows you the class of him.
Absolutely.
As far as the Capitals themselves, they become the first team to clinch a playoff berth this season. So here's the thing. Ain't no season like the postseason, babes. All Caps right now for this Washington Capitals team. It's amazing to think about. You were saying it earlier in the season, weeks about Logan Thompson, the great job that Carver's done. He's going to win the Jack Adams. I mean, this Capitals team might be the team to beat in the Eastern Conference, which is saying something when you consider the Florida Panthers, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Toronto Maple Leafs. The first team to clinch a playoff spot. You got 2 30-goal scorers, Ovechkin and Wilson, and Thompson, again, who you raved about earlier in the season. I remember you said, watch out for Thompson, the Vezina race, 34-5? You kidding me?
It's incredible what they've done. They've just been so consistent as a team, so complete. Alexi Protas having a breakout year as one of their young players. Now that contract extension that he signed looks so team favorable just because of how well he's playing. Connor McMichael, another young player, he's been fantastic. Jacob Chychrun has been a great fit there. Logan Thompson and Charlie Lindgren in the net have been great. And you know what? The Washington Capitals adds, the thing about them is they can play the game any way you want.
Yeah.
And when you've got an X factor like Tom Wilson, they can play you want it in the alleys, no problem. Blue collar game, all right. You want psycho game, we could do that. Off the rush, we could do that. They're a very complete team. It's great to see Spencer Carberry and the staff.
Yeah.
masterful job. Kirk Muller, my former teammate, the whole entire coaching staff. Mitch, love everybody.
Kirk Muller, Kingston.
Scotty Allen.
I love him.
Yes, yes.
And it's amazing to think about, too. To your last point about Tom Wilson, because I just think of a feisty guy. I don't think 30-goal scorer, and there he is being so productive.
30. 30. Is that not fire? Strome has been amazing for them, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't built in a day.
Correct.
Strome.
Yeah, Strome was very good. I love very good play on words.
But he's been amazing.
And Strome was a guy getting high picked by the Coyotes. Took a little while to develop, and now, back-to-back 80-point seasons he could have. He's been great.
Yes, sir.
All right, speaking of great, Connor Hellebuyck of the Winnipeg Jets. Bree, come on back in here. We know he's going to be the favorite as far as winning the Vezina. He's going to win his third Vezina. But could you make a case as he notches his 40th win of the season, he might get some votes for the Hart? Maybe he's the favorite to win it?
He might be, according to BetMGM, if we can hit that board. There you go. So he was the fewest games to reach 40 wins. He's tied for fourth fastest in hockey. But if we go to the next board, we can take a look at his Hart Trophy
on a list
odds.
with Omar, wow, Holtby, Ken Dryden. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. So look at this. He is the clear favorite right now, and he would be the first, if he were to win, he would be the first goaltender to get that since 2014-2015 with Carey Price.
Yeah.
So this is amazing, and I feel like I'm going into difficult waters here with my buddy Kevin Weeks, who's a goalie. Do you believe that the Vezina is the goalie award, or do you believe if a goalie is this spectacular, he can win the Hart Trophy as well?
Yeah, I believe if a goalie is this spectacular. Having played against all three of those guys on that board, and going back to Jose Theodorson's Jr., he was amazing. What a career Jose had that 02 year. It was neck and neck with him and Joe McGinley, I think, really for the MVP. Dominik Hasek took the position to heights we've never seen prior to in terms of greatness, excellence, save percentage, consistency. And Carey Price, that 2014-2015 year, was perfect. He was almost perfect. Everything he did. He swept 4 or 5 awards. I remember interviewing him at the awards in Vegas.
Hart, Lester,
he had all of them. They were all here, all of them. He had about 8 of them. They were all just stacked up. He's like, Weeksy, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. Any of your 125 awards you won this year? So, yeah, that's how special of a season it's been, though, to your point. And, yes, I do believe a goalie can win the Hart when you're as outstanding as Hellebuyck has been this year. And as mentioned, those aforementioned goalies were in their specific years, both Hasek, Theodore, and, of course, Carey Price.
And this is what I was going to lead to, which is the fact that there's Triple Crown categories: wins, goals against, save percentage, and shutouts. He's leading the way in all these categories. Of course, the cynics out there will say, even the corner of Portage and Maine, hey, let's wait and see what happens in the playoffs. He's going to win his third Vezina. Helly has been leaky come playoff time. Do you have confidence that he's going to be a difference maker this time around, or are you more of a wait-and-see approach?
Connor Hellebuyck is, what I like about his story is he's believed in himself a lot before other people believed in him, going back to even playing college hockey at UMass Lowell. So all of that to say, my big thing for Connor Hellebuyck is he has all the tools. The tools don't get turned off in April. The tools are there. However, what does happen in April is you got to become a bit of a street hockey goalie. You can't just rely on your positioning. You can't just rely on your size and technique. You got to throw some of that to the wind. That's what we saw from Carey Price. There's never been a goalie in this modern era that's as elegant, as smooth and fluid and beautiful to watch as Carey Price. Yeah. And where Carey Price had some of the challenges earlier in his career in postseason, it's because he was so fluid, so elegant, arrive, be there, positionally sound. Sometimes you got to get street hockey and get a little nasty and just pull saves out of your elbow, like we saw from Bobrovsky last year in the postseason. Signature save. Remember the one where he turned back and reached over? I want to see a couple of those from Connor Hellebuyck this year in the postseason. And if he does that, I think that will kind of unlock him to have some of that success in the postseason that he's craving.
Back-to-back first-round exits. That's been frustration for Winnipeg. Price, whether to your point, I forgot the Jennings Trophy. That's what he also won.
That's right.
Winning all that hardware. Bree, what else you got for us as far as perspective here for Connor Hellebuyck, what he's doing with the Jets?
I got one more thing that can get him that Hart locked and ready to go. So if we pull up that board. So he is on pace for 47 wins, but if he hits 48, he ties Marty Brodeur, Braden Holtby, and then, put him more into the record books, and then he's got to win that Hart, right?
Roberto Luongo and Bernie Parent, the great signs that he's done in Philly. Only the Lord saves more than Bernie Parent.
That's right.
I mean, that'd be incredible.
Save that board. So the year that Holtby won that Vezina, we co-presented him the Vezina with the great Bernie Parent.
Nice.
Okay? And the two middle guys on that board, in the great Roberto Luongo and the great Marty Brodeur, I played with both of them. So what I like about what I've seen from Hellebuyck in relation to those guys on the board is he wants to play a lot. I notice a lot of guys today, they don't necessarily want to, or they can't necessarily get to 60. maybe I could get to 50. It was a big thing. I played north of 50, 55 games, 4 times in my NHL career and twice in the minors. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
You want to be in the net. You want the smoke. and Connor Hellebuyck certainly wants that. And those guys on that board, as importantly or more importantly, they've always wanted that. So that's a great sign when I'm assessing goalies. And Connor Hellebuyck wants to play. So he's having a tremendous year, man. This will be his 3rd Vezina.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. He's already got 2. This will be Vezina number 3 for him, and I think the runner-up with very good reason will be my guy Logan Thompson.
Yeah, Logo certainly has been great. All right, we'll keep things moving right now. On top of the Edmonton Oilers, again, Draisaitl's in that mix. People think he might win the Hart. Here's the latest from Bob Stauffer and Connor McDavid getting an MRI today, according to head coach Chris Knobloch. Neither McDavid nor Leon Draisaitl play tomorrow against Seattle. It's a big break there for Kraken. Certainly, McDavid is not going to win the Hart Trophy this year. He might be top 5, perhaps. Draisaitl, he's got 49 goals weeks. It's 11 more than any other player in hockey. He's a guy who, again, I think if it wasn't for Hellebuyck, he might be the Hart Trophy winner. To lose both these guys, what's your level of concern, depending on how serious these injuries are?
Well, I think for Edmonton, they're so dependent on these 2 great players. Who wouldn't be? You have 2 league MVPs on your team. And for me this year, it's either been Draisaitl, Nate McKinnon, or, as we just mentioned, Connor Hellebuyck for the Hart Trophy. But because these guys generate so much of their production, you see the rates with a drop-off after them. It's a pretty steep drop-off in terms of the production rates after that. These guys control the game. They control the ice. They generate. They entertain. They're worth the price of admission. They're box office superstars, so to speak. That being said, I don't think it would necessarily be the worst thing for them if they were to get some time off. And this is why. You go all the way, and I was there, you go all the way to that Game 7 Stanley Cup final down in South Florida. You had such a run. It was so exhilarating, but yet still draining, right?
Yeah.
Why not? Hey, if I'm them, hey, if I'm Mr. Cates, guys, you guys want to go down to Barbados for 5 days? You want to go for a week?
Little R&R.
Where you want to go? Let me know. We're going to have the PJ waiting. The chef's going to be there. We're going to have everything set up, all the PT. We'll get you all the physio you need, all the recuperation, all the regeneration, so that when you come back in the lineup, your batteries are supercharged. That's the way I would go about it.
Yeah. It's not the worst idea in the world because, as you said, Edmonton, they played a lot of hockey.
Yeah.
It's going to be a test. They're going to be all likely facing the Kings once again.
Again, I've done that round the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's not an easy round.
Right.
Especially just based on how, the LA Kings style of game and now the matchup, and Quinton Byfield's hot right now. The LA Kings have had a really good season. That makes for a very intriguing matchup, especially if Evander Kane, which good news, we saw him practice now, return to practice.
Yeah.
But if Evander Kane's not ready, that's a big X factor for the. I've been saying it for the.
Big Daddy Kane brings a lot to the table.
Big Daddy Kane brings a lot to the table.
Yeah.
All he needs is a side part. He brings a lot to the table and a couple chains. But he does things up in Edmonton nobody can do for that team. His style of game brings a lot to the party when he's healthy.
One more topic down here. This is the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Pittsburgh Penguins. A lone game in the schedule tonight. So the Blue Jackets, the points in the line here in the wildcard race, they've only scored 4 goals in their last 5 games. Offense is completely run dry. Overall, they've got the edge against Pittsburgh in terms of goals per game. Defensively, their power play has been an issue recently. It's one edge Pittsburgh has over them, and the penalty kill is virtually even. But Columbus right now, Weeksy, trying to find some goals. This was literally 2 weeks ago. You go, hey, they're going to be that team for Onkoff, Fantilli. They're going to the playoffs. Now they've hit the skid at the worst possible time. Coming off the Stadium Series, shooting the cannon. Now they're giving up way too many goals. That power play is gone. 0 for 19. Let's go.
I don't know what happened. All I could tell you is being in Columbus, working the Stadium Series, everything was hitting the high notes. Everything, atmosphere was hype. Fans were hype. I couldn't believe how much Columbus has improved. Yeah. The main street, high street, everything. Columbus looked a little bit like Nashville. Nice. That was the vibe.
Yeah.
That's how improved it is right now, and I don't say that lightly.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Vibes, immaculate. All of a sudden, what was that graphic we just showed?
Yeah, that's insane. 1-5 over that stretch.
Oh, my God.
They've been shut out 3 of their last 4 games and 4 of their last 7.
Bobrovsky did it to last night again. Yeah. Former Jackets great, who will have his sweater retired there when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
But all of that to say now
you're 3 points back. And
now you're 3 points back. Luckily, they've got games in hand on the Rangers.
True.
There's one, kind of redeeming kind of quality there. But all things being equal right now for the Jackets, they're swimming uphill. They're swimming upshore, which is good if you're salmon, but that's tough. That's tough when you're a team. So, hey, I'm not turning out the lights on them we felt like there was divine intervention there, especially in light of the Gaudreau tragedies, the way the players and the fans and everybody's been able to rally together in the organization. But it just seems like they've just kind of run out of gas. Let's see if they can pump up the tank right now, the right time, and go on a run. It'd be nice to see for them.
And one last concern for Columbus. PPG Paints Arena has been a house of horror for them.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh 15-0-1 their last 16 home games against Columbus. So if there's one arena where the Blue Jackets do not play well, it's Pittsburgh.
And listen, players can tell you what they want.
Yeah.
Individually and collectively as a team. If you struggle as an individual in a certain barn, or if your team struggles in a certain barn,
it gets in your head.
You can be down 1 or 2-0 before the puck drop. I can tell you that, going back to old Joe Louis Arena.
Yeah.
You could be down 1-0 when the bus pulls up before you even get on the ice. So I'd be curious to see how this goes for them.
Dean Evison right now looking for positives. He said, are we trending in the right direction? 100%. We're not happy in the dressing room. We're mad.
Yep.
We did the right things to get a point. We'll see. We'll try to stay positive. All right. Still to come here on NHL Tonight First Shift. We're going to talk to Pujjuut Kusugak. That's right. He is calling Hockey Night in Canada in one of the native languages of Nunavut. That's Inuktitut. We ask him about his journey and how special this moment will be. That's next. Senators and the Devils coming up on Saturday night. Hockey Night in Canada. The Sens right now the first wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. The Devils are third in the Metro. But here's what's really exciting. I mentioned the Hockey Night in Canada part, but how about this? Inuktitut is the language broadcast on APTN with, among others, Pujjuut Kusugak, who joins us right now to talk about what should be a very celebrated experience. Pujjuut, this is pretty incredible. This is actually happening. We know this, me and Kevin being Canadians, seeing the Punjabi broadcasting, different broadcasts from Hockey Night in Canada. How did this come to be for you? How did you get into this position?
Well, first of all, I think I'm extremely lucky to be part of this. I've had experience doing the 2010 Olympics as well as the 2020 Olympics as well, covering hockey in our language. And then I received an email back in late October, and I couldn't reply fast enough to say, yes, I'm in. I want to be part of it. And we've done our first game so far and starting our second one tomorrow night, and it's extremely exciting.
Well, listen, having worked on Hockey Night for about 7 years, I understand the bandwidth, and obviously, as Ads was just saying, we understand how important it is, how cultural of an institution it is to Canadians all across the country, both in the city centers and in the rural, more remote locations. How and why is this so important to the community from your perspective?
I believe it's really to encourage and strengthen our language, to be able to showcase our language to the country and all over the world, to be able to show how relevant it is. We can use it for any kind of media out there, not just for hockey, but we also have things like movies, TV shows. There's so many parts of it that we want to help encourage our young people to be able to apply it to whatever they want to do. And really fortunately, one of my dreams was to be able to do this, and now we're doing it for a Hockey Night in Canada.
Cool.
Inuktitut is widely spoken in Nunavut. Over half of the residents there speak. It's one of 4 official languages there. But I'm curious here, Pujjuut, because I've talked to Harnarayan Singh when he was casting it and broadcasting it in Punjabi. He goes, there's certain things that just don't translate. Icing is just icing. I can't say icing in Punjabi. Are there certain words that you find that you can't translate necessarily?
There's some things that make it a bit more difficult to say, but we try to find words that are relevant and relatable and that are in context with what we're talking about. So we've been really fortunate to be able to use only our language probably like 99% of the time while we're doing our hockey games.
One thing that's interesting is, as we talk about it a lot, we can see a lot of different backgrounds involved in the game in different capacities, and certainly we can speak to that just based on our backgrounds, and we can certainly understand how and why that's so important. But from a visibility standpoint, we've seen things like Chief, like Craig Berube, winning the Stanley Cup as a First Nations head coach, first time in history, over 100 years in the NHL. We saw Brandon Montour last year with the Florida Panthers ads, who was a key defenseman for them in winning the Stanley Cup. So maybe talk about that representation and how you're able to tell some of those stories as well, and how much that resonates within the community.
Well, if you know Jordan Tutu, he comes from Rankin Inlet, and yeah, we come from the same community. Our fathers were relatives. I actually just played in a hockey tournament with Jordan this past weekend in our hometown.
Nice.
And to be able to have our language not just being shown on a jersey, now we're able to talk to elders, describe the game, also to teach different terms to the younger people, hoping that they'll be able to apply it to whatever work they want to do as well. What we're really trying to do is really strengthen and preserve our language, and to be able to use it for something we're very passionate about up in the north, in Inuit Nunavut, which is Northwest Territories, Nunavut, Nunavik, which is northern Quebec, all the way to Labrador, parts of Greenland. That's where Inuktitut is spoken. And for us to be able to use 3 different dialects, because all 3 of us speak a different dialect and we're still able to understand each other, we're trying to showcase and model that our language is able to be understood and spoken by really anyone. And it's a teaching opportunity. That's really something that we love about this job.
Pujjuut, as far as the actual game itself, Ottawa Senators have been a great story, clearly led by Brady Tkachuk. What are you most excited to as far as from the Ottawa Senators side of things?
Well, I think that just the run they've been on. Montreal's really the only other hottest team since the Four Nations happened. So this is going to be a really exciting game where the Senators can really display why they're a playoff contending team. And then the Devils, they got to show that they can still keep going with their major injuries that happened as of late. So it's going to be a really exciting one. We have quite a few Ottawa Senators fans from Nunavut, and they'll be able to watch their favorite team and be described all in Inuktitut.
That's really cool. I've been as far north as Whitehorse. We have family in Whitehorse, actually, on my wife's side. My wife was born in Whitehorse, actually, originally, so I could say that. But in saying that, you know, I hear from my brother-in-law sometimes. I ask him, I'm like, hey, how's the game? Like, what's the state of the game that you're hearing from people up there? How are things going? From your perspective, how's the game growing? How is it in terms of participation, in terms of girls and boys, and adult rec as well?
Well, the senior men's rec league has been quite vibrant for as far back as I can remember.
Nice.
The minor hockey system has been great. Using Rankin Inlet as an example, we have up to 200 youth playing hockey, and now we have a huge female hockey representation now, which is amazing. We have one girl, Charlotte Sixty, who's now playing Division III NCAA, and she's from our community. Nice. So she's the first female NCAA player ever to come from Nunavut, and she's Inuk as well, which is amazing. And now we have more youth that are playing AA, AAA. They're all over Canada, and which is really encouraging. I myself played for the Toronto Red Wings AAA midget team in Toronto back in 94, 95, and that was a great experience, and it allowed me to learn more about the game, make some amazing friends that I keep in contact with still, and it helped me better understand hockey, and now I'm able to apply it broadcasting as well, which I think is just a pretty cool thing.
Well, you saved that amazing nugget for the end. I don't know, but I played with the Red Wings my entire career from '83 right up until '93 when I went to junior. And there's nothing like hockey on a Friday night at Chestwood Arena. Really, really special.
Oh, yeah.
So you know this all too well. But that's great to hear.
I do.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, Pujjuut Kusugak
really
again,
cool.
calling the game in Inuktitut in Nunavut. It's an amazing accomplishment. Again, celebrating not only the rich history and diversity of Canada, but also this great game of hockey. Seriously, Pujjuut, have a great call. This was fun.
All right, thank you very much. And yeah, I remember seeing Kevin's name on some of those pictures at Old Chestwood. So that was very cool. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Full circle.
I love it.
Full circle moment.
Small world. Great stuff. All right, still to come here on NHL Tonight first shift. Really cool to see what Pujjuut is doing as far as Hockey Night Canada is concerned. When we come back, we're talking more pucks. As a matter of fact, we're focusing specifically on the Washington Capitals. That's next. We continue here NHL Tonight, first shift, and that's right. The Capitals have clinched. It took the Caps all 82 games to clinch a playoff spot last year. This season, they're the first in the NHL to get it done. Hashtag all caps. They've been one of the best stories in the game this year. And a guy covering it, doing a great job, is Tom Galletti, who joins us right now. Tom, we'll get to the Capitals here in just a second, but Alexander Ovechkin on the great chase scores last night against the Philadelphia Flyers. How is the anticipation building around Ovi as he appears to march towards the inevitable?
Yeah, it's been getting, like you said, it's been increasing it with each goal. A home game last night, and when the puck goes in for Alex, there's you can just tell the energy within the building, and then they have the big goal counter going on inside Capital One Arena, where they change it from 887 to 888. It's a pretty good number for Alex. He loves that number 8. So I think it was a fun night last night, and 7 to go. It'll be interesting to see here. One more home game, and then they hit the road again, and I think there's this excitement on the road too when Alex comes in as he's chasing this record.
Tom, listen, the atmosphere in Washington, it's all the way back, and I don't think a lot of people would know this, but even during Stanley Cup, I remember working at. I've never seen DC outside of anything for political or other type of reasons. I've never seen DC that crazy for sports as it was when the Caps won, and those vibes are back. In talking to different guys in the group, they say it's a big advantage. They feel great when they play at home. What's the atmosphere like from your perspective right now compared to what it was like in the Stanley Cup final?
Well, I mean, this is definitely the biggest event that they've had in that building, or it could potentially be, since 2018. Back in 2018, they're about to win their first championship, and you had fans out in the street and everything when they're on the road. I don't know if we're going to have that, but I think we have just, there's an anticipation. These tickets are becoming, going to be in demand, right, as we get closer to the record for each goal. And I think you can sense when Alex is on the ice and the puck comes near him, there's whoa, he might score right now. Or last night when the goalie was pulled and maybe you can get an empty net goal, there's also some anticipation. Fans chanting his name. They want to see history, and every goal puts them closer to that, or you see a step of history.
So to that end, how is the great chase impacting this Capitals team? Again, they're clinching a playoff spot, but how is this impacting the rest of the team, Tom?
Well, I was talking to Dylan Strome about it yesterday, and I was asking what's pushing this team right now. This team, you look where they are in the standings. They're pretty much, with barring a collapse, they're going to finish first in the East, and they're battling Winnipeg for first. But I don't think they're really concerned about that as first in the league. And I asked Dylan Strome what's pushing this team right now, and he pointed across the room to where Alex Ovechkin sits, and he says that guy right there. We want to play well for him. It helps him if we play well. Helps him, we set him up for plays, or we get a lead and puts him in position to get an empty net goal. So it's been a positive influence. Spencer Carberry after the game last night wasn't a game that he loved because they kind of had to hang on at the end. But he said that this goal chase has been nothing but a positive influence for the team. For just the way, there's some things they have to look out for as far as, they don't want to overpass and try to press the puck to get the puck to Alex. But I think in general, it's brought a positive mood and energy. Anytime that he has a chance to do something, I think you can feel it. They can feel on the bench and in the locker room, obviously, afterwards too.
Okay, so all that to say, let's talk about the coaching staff, because we were just giving them their flowers, Spencer Carberry and the entire staff, my former teammate Kirk Muller, just the whole staff. They've done an outstanding job. But the way Spencer Carberry has command of the dressing room, the way he relates and connects with the players and also with the media, he's been masterful so far. I don't say that very often because we're very good at this job. But he's done an outstanding job, and you've been around a lot. I used to see in our dressing room in Jersey. Tell us your kind of impressions of the way in which he's handled a lot of the media obligations, et cetera.
I agree. He's done an excellent job. He's very, very, obviously very good with the media, talking with us, explaining things that he's done, moves that he's done, or just talking in general about, this is a historic moment with Alex. And, you look at this team this year, who had them, they went from the last team to clinch the playoff spot last year to the first this year in the league. And who had that happening? I think the players, he's done a really good job of keeping them focused on things. Like we said, they're pretty comfortably ahead, but he's always pushing them to within reason to keep playing, to fix certain parts of the game that when they drop off. They had the problem with starts a little while ago, and they've gotten better at that. There's other things, putting together 3 consistent periods, that's sometimes been an issue. And he has a really good, does a good job just keeping them focused on things they need to improve, because they know when they're going into the playoffs here in another month or so that they need to be, playing at the top of their game.
How is the great chase You know, we talked about it's impacting the Capitals, Tom. How is it impacting other teams?
Well, I think you've definitely seen, that the opponents are, they're cognizant of the fact that Alex is chasing this record, and they don't want to be the team that he gets the record against, but they also don't want him to get closer against them. He's not going to score 7 goals in a game probably, but Florida does not want tomorrow night to him get closer. They want to have him push it off, and I think we saw last week when the Capitals were in LA, the Kings really focused on shutting Alex down. I mean, they're a great defensive team overall, and they shut them down completely. But they really focused, I thought, on taking him away. And I think Detroit did similar earlier this week when the Capitals played them. So that's if teams are going to take Alex away, they can't force the puck there, but it can create some opportunities for other players. At near the end of the game, he set up Connor McMichael for a goal because everyone was expecting him to shoot, and then instead he passed in front of Connor McMichael for the goal. So that's the sort of thing that both he and they are kind of recognizing when other teams are overplaying him, and maybe they can take advantage of. Doesn't get him any closer to a record, but maybe if you can't overplay him, eventually you realize that maybe he does get open looks later in a game.
What would you say is the most redeeming quality about this Caps team so far this season in your eyes?
I just think they're just the thing that they're consistent. I don't think they've lost more. They had one time they lost 3 games in a row all season long. They rebound very well from when they have poor efforts. They learn from their mistakes. They've been able to maintain a high level of play throughout the season for the most part. There's been little dips here and there, or even within games. But when you look at the overall picture, this has been a very consistent team. And you could say they're overachieving with you look at their roster. There was not a single player on this team that was chosen to play in the Four Nations face-off, but here they are. The first team to reach 100 points, first team to qualify for the playoffs. So I think they have a well-balanced team that has helped them because when one line isn't going, another one maybe picks it up, and that's one of the reasons for their consistency, I believe.
Amazing to think about Protas. Like Weeks said, his breakout year, the fact he's got 29 goals, who in the world saw this coming? Yeah. Nick Backstrom is an all-time great Capital. Tom, what's the latest on Backstrom as he wants to be a part of this? Tarek El-Bashir tweeting this. Backstrom said he intends to begin traveling as Ovechkin gets close to Wayne Gretzky to make sure he's in the building when it happens. How about that?
Yeah, we were talking to Nick today over at the Capitals practice rink. He was talking about that. Yeah, he wants to be there. I think he will be there as part of, they're just trying to figure out when he's going to jump on board, I guess, the traveling party and be there. Wayne Gretzky wants to be there and Commissioner is going to be there. I think Nick really should be there, right? He's had as big a hand as anybody in Alex getting this far. Unfortunately, his hip injury, that just not something he could continue to play through. So he's not on the ice with him. But I think he should be there. He's been a big part of this, and I think I can understand him wanting to be there. He feels a little left out right now. He wishes he could be on the ice, but he's still cheering Alex on and amazed like the rest of us where he is.
Yeah, you can do it. Put your back into it. Nick Backstrom there. First all-time and assist, second in games, amazing. Tom Gallitti covering the Capitals, NHL.com. Tom, thanks so much for the insight, and can't wait for your story once Ovechkin does indeed break the record.
Thanks, guys.
All right, still to come here in NHL Tonight First Shift. None of that other thing going on right now. March mayhem for me in 7 weeks as you look towards the playoffs for these NHL teams. That's next.
It's got an unbelievable pathway to get here and first of many games.
Giroux on the near side, centering pass. Norris, and he scores! Josh Norris opens the scoring for the Ottawa Senators. What a night for the Ottawa Senators and Linus Ullmark. Welcome addition to this team will enjoy this win. His first shutout with the Ottawa Senators. Aho drops it back, Svechnikov, one further. Toe saved by Ullmark.
Wow.
My goodness, saved the game. It's now a breakaway chance all alone. Ridley Gregg with the breakaway. Gregg shoots, up, rebound, he scores! Ridley Gregg, the go-ahead goal from Lethbridge, Alberta. What a shot, what a play. It's a 2-on-1 chance for Ottawa. Stützle waits, shot, left save, rebound, Kachuk, he scores! 10 in overtime on the career for Brady Kachuk, and the Sens will win it in overtime in Calgary.
Again, celebrating Women's History Month. Great to see all these women doing so well in our sport of hockey. She's awesome. Yeah. From Kenzie, we go to Alexander Ovechkin. 159 career goals in March, the most in a month in hockey history. Amazing to think about. It is madness of a different kind here when it comes to what he is doing. So that brings us to a little bit of something we're calling March Mayhem.
Nice. I like it.
Oh, yeah. Guys, dunking out.
Remember this? Yes.
Two sports. There's another thing going on right now.
I remember that.
Let's take a look at the East Coast and the Eastern Conference, rather, the Western Conference standings. So right now, it's the Sens, the first playoff spot. Then you got the Habs. Islanders are 2 points back. The Rangers are 2 points back, but they've got 2 games fewer than those other teams. The Blue Jackets, Red Wings, and if you're really dreaming, you can include the Bruins and the Penguins as well. In the Western Conference, it looks like this. Wild, okay, feel pretty good about them, and then it just gets nuts. Blues, Canucks, Flames, and Utah. The Blues have the fewest games remaining, but they have the easiest schedule left. The Canucks arguably have the most talent. Flames have the best goalie, and Utah, who would have expected they'd even be in this situation? All that being said, we bring back in Bree. What do we got here as far as this March Mayhem and this race to the finish line?
Yes, our very nice non-copyrighted March Mayhem, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to start in the 8-team round. We're going to call it grade 8 because that Ovechkin guy is doing great things and whatnot. So we're going to call it the bubble bracket. So let's take a look at the bracket.
Yeah.
So here are all of our teams, 4 in the East, 4 in the West. Head to head, we'll start with the Canadians and the Blue Jackets. Who you got?
Canadians.
Yeah. Again, we won't got the Habs without question. But Columbus, not enough offensive talent. It's been, like Weeksy said, it's been a dream story all season long. But I think that they've fallen on the gas. And the Habs right now, listen, man, Hudson's been great. Caulfield could score 40 goals. We love Marty St. Louis.
Yeah. They've just been a great story. You've done numbers of their games.
Yeah.
Numerous games for them, I should say. And I just like the way they're clicking at the right time right now. I'm going Habs here.
8-1-3 since the Four Nations, so they're clicking at the right time right now. Okay, Bree, we feel pretty good. Canadians over the Blue Jackets. What next you got?
Yeah, what do you got?
All right, a little New York battle here. No bias here. So we're going to go Islanders or Rangers. Weeksy, no bias here.
I played for all 3 of these.
Exactly. He knows this New York area.
I would say right now, the way the teams are playing, I would say the Islanders.
Wow.
And especially having the 2 games in hand. The Rangers just look like a shell of themselves right now. I can't believe what I'm watching. It's been so tough to see. I never thought this would have been the case.
Yeah.
Based on the talent, just based on the game breaker in Panarin, who's still great, and then the game breakers in the net in Shesterkin and Jonathan Quick. So I never thought this would happen. But hey, Sorokin had a big game last night, and he had 2 assists too. So every time you think the Islanders are done, ads.
That is what's crazy.
Patrick Waugh and Lou, every time you think they're done, they just pop up.
Like the Undertaker.
They just pop up like the Undertaker.
That third period comeback the other night was unbelievable.
Unreal.
Down 2 goals in the third. You're not going to come back. They score 4.
Yeah.
All right, you sold me. I was going to say Rangers just deferring to Shesterkin, but you're right. Islanders a better story right now. Yeah. They've won 3 straight games. I love Thomas Hickey. Islanders it is. All right, Bree, next up.
What do you got?
All right, no love for the Garden? Okay, whatever. So we were going to go to the West now. We're going to take the top seed of the Blues against Utah Hockey Club. Who you got?
Blues.
Blues, man. I said at the start of the year, Blues will be a disruptor. Right here in this studio, they'll be a disruptor. I didn't know if they'd get in.
Yeah.
But again, since Four Nations face-off, the way they're playing, that epic game they had last night against Vancouver, those 2 teams slugging it out. What a win, what a goal. St. Louis Blues, Jordan Kyrou, shout out to his dad, Aki Kyrou, back in Parkdale.
Nice.
Former fellow Toronto Red Wing. I just love the way they're playing. Robert Thomas is healthy and cooking. The Blues look great right now, lads.
Monty's got them going. They've got the easiest schedule of all these teams down the stretch. They've got 3 games against the Predators, don't forget. I look at schedule watching and say that has to help this team overall. I was there in St. Louis last month for Amazon Prime. Definitely that building's cooking. They want to get this team going. And Utah, I just think a lack of offensive talent. I like Clayton Keller. He's a great kid, great
nice.
story.
It's real good.
Turney's done a good job as far as being the head coach. But we got the Blues.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah.
Next up, Bree.
All right, love with Monty with the redemption story. Let's go.
Yeah,
so the next one we're going to do exactly. So we're going to do Canucks and Flames for our last matchup in the grade 8.
So I would have thought before we see the Canucks have more talent. Yet without JT Miller, Demko is out.
Yeah.
They're such a maddeningly inconsistent, enigmatic team. Now, the Flames, they don't have the offensive talent, aside from our guy, Nazem Kadri and Jonathan Huberdeau. But you know what? I'll take the better goalie. I'll take Wolfie. I love Huska. Talk's a great coach as well, but I'm going to take Wolfie just by a hair. You know what? I was at that game. They lose the Leafs 6-2. You go, oh, my God, season's over. And they come back second out of a back-to-back and win 2-1 against the Rangers. Nas had a goal and an assist. I think Vancouver's a little more talent. I'm going with the Flames right now.
I agree. The Canucks have the talent. They have the game breakers. But I got to tell you, man, the way the Flames have played that team first game, the Wolfman in the net has been howling at the moon all season long for the Flames at the Dome. And that win that they had right here at the Prudential Center in Jersey, third period engineered comeback that they had last night was money for them. I'm going to say right now the Flames by a whisker, by a wasker.
The comeback kids, or we get the Flames right now.
By a wasker.
All Canadian matchup will go with the Flames. All right, Bree, what does that bring us to as far as our Last 4 teams, yeah.
So now we're in our last 4, and I'm going to leave you guys. You guys do this. You get more screen time than I'm done. So you guys start with Montreal against the Island. Who you got?
I think it's Montreal.
That's the Patrick Waugh Bowl, by the way, as I said.
Yeah.
That's the great Patrick Waugh Bowl.
I mean, if this actually happened, there was a game back at the Bell Center.
Oh, my God.
And Waugh walked into that arena.
Oh, my goodness. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm not even in the lineup, and I'm getting goosebumps. Just the way the team's playing right now, I give Montreal the edge, especially for the goal scoring.
Yeah.
The offense, you mentioned Cole Caulfield, Lane Hudson, Suzuki. We're starting to see some of the other guys. Dvorak is starting to hit his stride. He's been much better of late. Josh Anderson is playing well for them. All things being equal, I give the Habs the edge, and they're faster and younger.
Yeah, I'll go with Montreal as well. So Montreal hopefully making the playoffs. As far as the other matchup, that we had the Blues, right? We're picking Montreal over the Islanders. The other matchup, we have Blues and Flames. I give the Blues the edge, especially for playoff experience right now, just based on their group and guys that have played in big games, guys that have won the Stanley Cup. George Binnington just coming off and winning 4 Nations. I like Neighbors. Neighbors is really good, yeah. He's good on the defense. You're right.
They've got a good team. St. Louis has a good. I give them the edge. And the key is when you're playing well at the right time.
Yeah.
When you're clicking at the right time, which they've been doing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel pretty good about the Blues right down the West. Feel good about the Flames from the East. That's our March Mayhem. There's how it looks. Habs and Blues. You got the 1 seeds here, Bree. Well done as far as cooking this up for us. Listen, before we get rolling, always appreciate all sports. And LeBron James, how cool was this? So he was repping the Columbus Blue Jackets, giving some love to the Blue Jackets. Yeah. Of course, they had that game there at the Stadium Series.
Awesome.
LeBron wore a jersey for Columbus. This was awesome to see. I mean, the guy is repping the cannon. This is so cool to see LeBron, as big as it gets in sports, repping Columbus. So then in response, Adam Fantilli of the Columbus Blue Jackets says, you know what? I got some love for LBJ as well. How cool is this?
That's understanding the assignment. That a boy, Adam. You know what? That's not even, you're not Fantilli anymore. Now you're Mantilli, because you're playing like a man. I love that. Adam Mantilli. You could use it, Columbus. Just make sure you credit me. Don't steal my material like the other teams do.
I'm Mantilli. That's fantastic.
Yeah, remember when I said Scory Perry and they started selling everything in Anaheim? Yeah. Scory Perry. I didn't get a residual.
Let's get 10% to Kevin Weeks here. Come on.
Listen, it's a team business.
Hook my guy up.
There's enough there for everybody.
Man, if the Montreal Canadiens make the playoffs.
Oh, I just said on the area last night, there's nothing like the Bell Center in the playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs in Montreal, springtime. Again, my goosebumps are back. I played against them in the playoffs. I know what that atmosphere is like. It's absolutely bonkers.
I get excited just when I hear, mesdames et messieurs, ladies and gentlemen,
totally.
here we go. Home plays playing. Here go the
stage. It sets the stage for the stage, pour la table.
Next time we'll see you from La Belle Provence. For Kevin Weeks and Adnan Virk, thanks for watching NHL Tonight, first show.
Bon weekend.
À bientôt.